So welcome to the family. There's not a lot of dysfunction, but the good news is 5 of us could eventually get thrown out of 6. All family changes. Yeah. And you'll still be. But we lost her. Just that quick, and you got a great team for it.
Thank you.
So if you'll raise your right hand, feel free to use your cheat sheet if you would like. Okay. I state your name.
I, James O'Brien,
Do swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
do swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
And that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
and that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland.
to the state of Maryland,
And support the Constitution and laws thereof.
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
And that I will,
to
to the best of my skill and judgment,
the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality
without partiality
or prejudice,
or prejudice,
execute the office of Patrolman First Class,
execute the office of Patrolman First Class
Mount Airy
of Mount Airy
Police Department,
Police Department,
according to the Constitution
according to the Constitution
and the laws of this state
and the laws of this state,
and the laws of the town of Mount Airy, Maryland.
and the laws of the town of Mount Airy, Maryland.
Now officially an officer. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Gotta sign my fancy paper.
Postman, thanks for having us.
Last officer that we had sworn in was running around here, hopping on the
Welcome. Now you're official.
Yeah.
Mr. Officer Lyon.
Welcome, you be safe.
Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome, thank you.
All right, sir.
So how was,
I appreciate
I
you.
was gonna ask him, did he enjoy the carnival, for his training?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
During the day, yes. Did enjoy it.
There you go.
It was great. It was great. Working with and stuff, so they were awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Thank you, officer.
Thank you.
All right.
Official people. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Up here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the date is July 2nd, 2024. The time is 7:15. We are now here for a public hearing regarding Charter Amendment Resolution 2024-2 for Urban Renewal. Do we have anyone here who wishes to speak? Hearing nobody. We will now close this public hearing regarding Charter Amendment Resolution 2024-2 for Urban Renewal. Thank you. .30 p.m. I will now call this town council meeting to order. If you would, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we are lucky to have a couple of different presentations on the meeting agenda for tonight. So at this time, I will relinquish the floor to our mayor, Mayor Hushauer.
Test, test. Works. We'll warm ourselves up with Adele. Adele, would you like to come forward? Don't get relaxed. Don't get relaxed back there. So, Adele, it's a pleasure having you up here. Adele has served on the Board of Parks and Recreation for years. Do you recall how many?
2, 3,
Yep.
3, something like that, yeah.
Yep. But now she's moving on to the Commission on Aging and Livability. And she is currently the chairman of that commission, so we are grateful for everything that you've done. And this is only a little bit of what Adele does for the town, for the county. You're involved in so much, and we greatly appreciate everything that you've done. And with that being said, we'd like to give you the certificate as you lead the Board of Parks and Recreation. I see Mike out there. Would you like to come up and be part of this? We're going to make you be part of it. So come on up.
He's not actually asking you, he's telling you.
Voluntold. No, it's great to have Mike here as the chairman of the Board of Parks and Recreation. Certificate of recognition from the town of Mount Airy to Adele Connolly, Board of Parks and Recreation and Parks, 2021 to 2024. In recognition of your devoted, hardworking, and selfless service as a Board of Recreation and Parks member, the time and effort that you have given to the town is greatly appreciated. It is volunteers like you that make Mount Airy what it is today, as signed by myself and the entire council, and with it comes a gift card. Okay? All right, and a thank you note from me. So thank you so much, and let's step in front of the podium. We'll do a picture and put Adele. It'll be the rose between two thorns. Thank you. All right. Gianna, are you ready for this? Can you come up? Yeah, stand about right here. It'd be perfect. So Gianna Galati has entered and been a runner-up in the If I Were a Mayor for a Day contest that's conducted by the Maryland Municipal League every year. And the fourth graders take part in this, and they write essays on what they would do if they were mayor. And frankly, whenever I read them, I go, holy cow, I got a lot to do. So they do a great job. We were going to recognize you last month, but you weren't able to make it. So this month we're going to do it, and we have a certificate for you. And it says, the Town of Mount Airy, Certificate of Achievement from the Town of Mount Airy to Gianna Galati. The Town of Mount Airy hereby presents a Certificate of Achievement to Gianna Galati and commends you on being a semifinalist in the If I Were Mayor essay contest. The town acknowledges your great accomplishments, and we wish you continued success in all your future endeavors. And that's signed by myself and the entire council back here. So we have this. Do you have anything you'd like to say? Would you like to critique anything? Well, we greatly appreciate it. Well, I'll tell you what, it would probably give me some more free time to play golf. So, would her family like to come on up, please? Okay. Would the council like to join around us? Sure. Get you forward a little bit here. There we go. All right, good. And we're going to give you that. And then we'll all get around you. You guys around the back. Good. Got it? Adele, you can get this special.
All right, everybody. Hey, Adele, we'll stay up here for you.
All right. All warmed up to go for our next child in the audience. Yes, sir. Come on up, Jim. You bring in a crowd, I tell you.
Word got
I see
out
the
quick.
Hamiltons back there. I haven't seen you
Yeah.
all in a long time. It's good to have you here. It's good to have everybody here. Chris Everett even came back. Where'd he go? Oh, there you are. Here's I'm back there. I thought he might have been sitting behind me again. So Jim Morton has done so much for this town. He raised my son, partially raised my daughter because she would sneak out on the camping trips. I know he's worked with Mike, he's worked with all these kids in here, he's worked with Steve back here. So 30-plus years?
34.
All right, well, I'll read through this and you'll hear all the accomplishments. But outside of scouting, Jim was also involved in the Chamber of Commerce here in town. Was on the Main Street Safety Task Force. Got anything else in the resume for us?
Actually was the president of the Ethics Commission back during Linda Boyer's tenure.
Holy cow.
So I have a little practice, so you better watch yourself.
It's okay, Dick's keeping us honest. So, all right, this is a proclamation from the town of Mount Airy honoring Scoutmaster Jim Morton, Boy Scouts of America, Troop 460. Whereas the town of Mount Airy recognizes Jim Morton having achieved the rank of Eagle Scout in 1966. How old were you all in 1966?
I wasn't even around. Thank you. I
Two.
was only 15 at the time.
Two. I was two, Jim. I was two. Has since devoted his life toward fulfilling the Eagle Scout charge and uplifting the citizenship of all others. And whereas the town of Mount Airy commends Jim Morton of his service as the Scoutmaster of Troop 460 at Calvary Methodist Church since 1990, and whereas over the last 34 years, Jim Morton has served as a mentor and an inspirational leader to over 335 scouts as they approached adulthood in adhering to the values as put forth through the Scout Law and Oath, and whereas Jim Morton has assisted over 94 scouts in achieving the rank of Eagle Scout throughout his time serving as Scoutmaster, and whereas Jim Morton has regionally trained over 400 scouters or adult leaders through the Wood Badge program of the Boy Scouts of America, and whereas the Boy Scouts of America has recognized Jim Morton with the Silver Beaver Award, Vigil Honor, Order of the Arrow Award, Scoutmaster Award of Merit, Carroll District Award of Merit, James E. West Fellowship Award, and National Eagle Scout Association Life Membership Award. Now, therefore, on behalf of the Town Council and the Mayor of Mount Airy, we present this proclamation expressing our sincere appreciation and congratulations to Jim Morton on his entire tenure and retirement as the Scoutmaster at Troop 460 on this date, June 10th, 2024, and that's signed by myself and the entire council. And I'll tell you, you've done great things for the town, Jim, and I greatly appreciate everything that you've done for me, my family, and the families of all these other people here. So thank you. Yeah. And now that you don't have to eat scout food that's half cooked and pancakes with ashes in them, you get a gift card too. All right, we'd like to do a picture with you if y'all come up one more time. So, get you up here. There you go. By all means, let's let Jim has a word to say.
Well, I don't have anything prepared. And I'm kind of nervous in public. But 34 years, when I took this job, I kind of fell into it back in 1990. I never realized then that it would be 34 years as Scoutmaster. But the 34 years as Scoutmaster, I'm just one person. Yes, I wore the patch of Scoutmaster, but there have been, over the 34 years, a lot of adult help, parental help, trained Scoutmaster, assistant Scoutmasters that helped the troop go. And if it wasn't for all of the volunteers that we had, my job would have been a little bit more difficult. Saying that, I greatly appreciate all the support that I've had as of late, and I wish the new Scoutmaster in his endeavor to take, as he's taking over the troop, the best of luck. Jay, I don't know if it's going to be 34 years, but if it's 4 years, I know you do a tremendous job. Once again, thank you, Scouts and Scouters and friends, for being here today. Thank you, the town. Thank you, Mayor Hushauer and the town council. I couldn't have done it myself. It takes a lot of people to make the troop go. And it's been just my tremendous honor to be the Scoutmaster that people came to. So again, thank you all very much.
Thank you. Hamilton,
Yeah.
come up.
Scouts? Come on, Scott. Two.
Let me move this back.
Okay, 1 and 2, 3.
Go ahead, so they can see.
So the troop, hold on for the town.
And we expect you to burn all those bottles in your attic.
We're going to empty this place. Thank you.
We'll let them kind of clear out, then we'll continue. All right, thank you very much, Mayor. Sir. Moving on to the next portion of our agenda, we are now in the public comment portion of the agenda. Does anyone in the audience wish to speak? All right, hearing none, we'll move on. Next up is the approval of council meeting minutes and closed minutes. I will begin with the June 2024 council meeting minutes. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion for approval of the June 2024 town council meeting minutes.
All right, I will second. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the June 2024 town council meeting minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, next up, our June 2024 closed meeting minutes to consider the acquisition of real property for the purpose of, and matters directly related thereto for land acquisition. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion for approval of the June 2024 closed meeting minutes as allowed by Section 3-305B3.
All right, I will second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the June 2024 minutes, closed meeting minutes for land acquisition, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, next up, June 2024 closed meeting minutes as allowed by 3-305B7 for a public works agreement. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion for approval of the June 2024 closed meeting minutes regarding the subject of public works agreement.
All right, I will second. Any discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor of approving the June 2024 closed meeting minutes for the public works agreement, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, and last but not least, June 2024 closed meeting minutes under 3-305B7 to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice on a legal matter. The subject was zoning. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion for approval of the June 2024 closed meeting minutes regarding the subject of zoning.
All right, I will second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of approving the June 2024 closed meeting minutes regarding zoning, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. And that's it. Next up, we have our Civil Air Patrol report. I know Major Wolf is not here, but somebody's here to fill in. Good evening. How are you?
I'm great. How about yourself?
Good, good. Welcome. Thank you.
All right. My name is First Lieutenant Aaron Lavelle, and I'm going to present the report for the Mount Airy Composite Squadron Civil Air Patrol. The following are significant events and accomplishments of the Mount Airy Composite Squadron for the month of June. Under the category of mission or significant activities, the squadron focused on preparing our cadets for various summer activities. We have a number of cadets that are attending the encampment in Maryland, as well as other states, as well as the other various special activity training programs all around the country. Every squadron driver within the Mount Airy Squadron completed additional safety training regarding the use of the CAP-owned vehicles as part of the Wing's recent safety stand-down. Our community support, we completed our quarterly Adopt the Road cleanup on South Main Street, and then we also, as a squadron, provided support for our host organization, the Mount Airy chapter of the Isaac Walton League, on their member workday, and we helped complete several projects that will benefit that organization. Under the category of qualifications and achievements, we provided the training and qualification for a wing staff member to complete the highest level of ground team qualification. And additionally, another member of our own squadron has completed the training to become a new character development instructor. We have had we've had a couple of significant other training events. One cadet has completed ground school and is currently attending a flight academy in Hagerstown. That should result in a solo flight as well as significant progress towards the private pilot license. We have another cadet that has completed a week-long training program on space operations at Patrick Space Force Base in Florida. And another cadet has completed a week-long cybersecurity and network defense training held here in Columbia. One cadet has completed his final 2 orientation flights before he did turn 18, so we're proud to say he got all 5 of those in. Regarding our membership growth, we've had 1 new cadet that joined the squadron during the month, and several members of the Parkland Cadet Squadron have joined us again for the summer, and they've had the opportunity to show up a couple of times. Regarding our operational status, the squadron ground team is fully mission capable. Multiple individuals are available to support the SUAS mission requirements and mission-based incident command post needs. On the horizon, coming up very, very soon, we'll continue to support the Wing's Bay Patrol missions as needed. The squadron's van will be used in the American Spirit Parade that was just done, I believe, yesterday. And then we're joining 2 other joined 2 other squadrons yesterday as well to provide informational session on the Civil Air Patrol at the Eldersburg Library. And last but not least, we will be providing the recovery operations for the town fireworks on the 4th. So we always look forward to it. So, any questions, guys?
Quick comment. Thanks so much for coming in on the 4th. You guys save us. It's a great help to us to be able to utilize the Civil Air Patrol as opposed to bringing in a whole bunch of people.
You know, we're getting in a couple of years now. We know what we're doing. We show up, we get it done. So
Okay.
appreciate it. Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks. And if you're someone some information, you can still email me. I haven't seen one, so.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Next up, we have the Mount Airy Volunteer Fire Company report. I don't see Matt in the audience, so we'll skip that. And we'll go right to Chief Ginevra with the Mount Airy Police Department report.
Good evening, everybody. For meetings and trainings attended, Senior Officer Betcher recertified as a field training officer. Corporal Brooks, Officer Klezak, Officer Gebhardt qualified with their aerial rifle, shotgun, and pistols. Senior Officer Medeiros attended a first responder wellness appreciation event in Carroll County, and all officers continue to conduct their annual in-service training requirements. For community outreach, all officers participated in the Four Counties Carnival. On June 11th, myself and Senior Officer Betcher participated in the Carroll County Law Enforcement Torch Run, where we sponsored a Special Olympics athlete. On June 18th, myself and Senior Officer Medeiros, we gave a tour of our facility to the Mount Airy Daycare Center. For recruitment, we've conducted some police lieutenant interviews last week. Also with that, we conducted the last of the physical agility exam for new and lateral recruits, and a lateral panel interview was conducted for another officer who successfully completed another benchmark for that. We'll be moving on through the process. For upcoming events for July 3rd, tomorrow, obviously we have the Carnival grounds for the fireworks. Hopefully some folks have monitored not only what the town has showed on Facebook and stuff like that, but if anyone has any questions, definitely reach out. We can help you out if there's any questions. There's also a map that was posted too for when we exit the Carnival grounds in an orderly fashion to try to get everyone out as quickly and safely as possible. That's our main concern, is the safety. Your honking and all that other obscene stuff, you know, it is what it is, but folks, we want to get you all out safely. So definitely come out to the grounds tomorrow night from 4 to 10 and enjoy the festivities. July 29th through the 3rd, I know Officer Hurd from the fire department wasn't here, but I'm going to share that. Also, we got the Fireman's Carnival. A lot of activities going on out there, so definitely come out and support the firemen and stuff like that. And again, I know I had mentioned it last month also. It's been a while since we've hosted it, so we're trying to piece together some different things here. But we have our August 6th National Night Out. So again, I'm really excited to get that working through. I have two outstanding ladies, I'm not going to mention them right now, that are helping me, and they're definitely, I swear that they're 23 hours out of the day putting the work in to help out the Mount Airy Police Department. So I'm very grateful for these ladies. As you may have already seen on the information that I posted in our report also, Senior Officer Bridges was part of the Carroll County warrant initiative. It was multi-jurisdictional. So between the agencies, as you see, it's noted in there, it was successful. So that may be a continuing event also that takes place between the surrounding agencies. And also I'd like to commend Officer Klezak and other members of the Mount Airy Police Department. A search and seizure warrant was conducted in town. I won't reveal the location at this time because it's still a pending investigation. But as you can see on the back of everything there was several items that were seized from a location, not only including the residence, but also a car. Just again, there are things that do happen, unfortunately, to say in this town, but we just would, again, like everyone to be aware. There's things that do, again, take place in Mount Airy. If you see something, say something, you're not bothering the police department, that's what we're here for. It generates the calls. We want to make the community aware of what's happening. And again, just to tag along on that, our drop box for any pharmaceuticals and stuff like that, it's open, no liquids and no sharps. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Any questions?
Yes, sir.
Yes, just a couple comments. First, Chief, I want to, as always, thank you for all you guys do. The town appreciates it. I know we all appreciate it. I also wanted to thank you. I'm looking at page 1, which is your operational plan for traffic surveillance. And I just want to thank you and commend you. All of the involved locations that were part of this plan, this is what came out of the Streets and Roads Commission meeting. You know, during our conversations and listening to citizens, we identified some areas where we thought we needed some surveillance. And that's exactly what you did. Everything on here, all these locations are exactly responsive to what we discussed that night. So thank you for that. And then also thank you on page 3. And my fellow council members, if you notice, page 3 not only has the total stops and total citations, but now it has the location of stops. So this is something I had suggested at Streets and Roads, and we talked about it, and the commission endorsed it, because I thought it would be helpful to see not just how many stops, but where are the problem areas? Where are we issuing tickets and such? And so you've provided that, and it's nice to see exactly where we are having those problem areas. And then thank you again, because your items, location stops 6, 7, and 8 were all on Rising Ridge Road, and this was a topic of conversation, and we had a citizen complaint about Rising Ridge Road in this vicinity. So all that is a way to say thank you for being so helpful and responsive to Streets and Roads and to the council and to the town. So thank you.
Yes, sir, thank you, and that again, that goes to Corporal Brooks. He attends obviously your meeting and all the information obtained, and not only that, any of the community complaints that we do get, we try to put together that initiative, and then it's orchestrated and conducted along with the officers and Corporal Brooks.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Chief, one quick question. On the last page of your report, under the bench warrants and things of that, were all those the type of warrants that were listed here, or were all those served in Mount Airy to people? Or is that just a list of what we helped out with serving in various areas?
That was a list of the warrants that were served in those various areas.
And when I say various, I mean,
Throughout any of the, from Tawnytown to Westminster.
Okay.
Through Hampstead, Sykesville.
okay,
Through those, yes.
okay, cool. Thank you. I just wanted some clarification, that's all. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions for the chief? All right, thank you, Chief Ginever. Next up will be the mayor, council, and staff reports. We will begin with our mayor, Mayor Hushower.
All right, thank you, Council President. I'll start with PFAS update. The second quarter 2024 results of the water samples have been posted on the town's website. We're still executing the long-range remediation plan in 2024, which is only a couple days behind us. We did receive notification of the grant award or forgivable loan from the MDE that will fund remediation of 2 of our 5 pumping stations. The MDE, through the Maryland Water Infrastructure and Financing Administration, has recently sent out that priority letter. This is something that we've been waiting to see. That is pending review and public comment, just like it was last year. But the list indicates the town should be funded for the additional 2 water stations that were higher than acceptable, that show higher than acceptable levels of PFAS. Of note, the MDE is asking the town to extend the water service to the Twin Arch Mobile Home Park to confront the community residents' issues of unacceptable levels of PFAS, and the funding should be accomplished through this MWIFA funding as well. Last month, town engineer was out there for the column testing, which was completed with several forms of media to remediate PFAS in the town's water system. These tests were successful, so I think we've identified a media that will work to correct the situation. And currently, we are discussing how best to proceed with all 4 of the water stations, knowing that we're still waiting for that final allocation of funding to occur. And any significant alterations along those lines will be brought to the council, so you guys will stay alert as to what we have going on. On a lighter note, on August 10th, At 8 a.m., the Rotary Club of Mount Airy will be hosting the third annual Mount Airy Mile. This event starts near Anita's Liquors and ends at Liquidity Ale Works. This year's event includes the introduction of Mount Airy Millie. Mount Airy Millie is a duck that forecasts the extension of summer by 6 weeks. If Millie sees her shadow, then the summer will be extended by 6 weeks. If she does not, then we can expect an early fall season. We are expecting the return of Henry Buzzard, or Boussard, the first station master here in Mount Airy and considered the first resident of Mount Airy to serve as the master of ceremonies to raise the duck up high for all to witness this prediction. So show up on August 10th for Mount Airy Millie to see what's going on for the rest of the summer. There's more stuff in my report, but I think you got to wrap it up when you start talking about ducks, and we'll see everyone at the fireworks.
Next up, we'll go to the Recreation and Parks Board Beautification Commission and the Flatiron Task Force with Council Secretary Galletti.
Thank you. I'll start with the Flatiron Task Force. Did not meet since our last meeting. Hopefully soon we'll be conducting possibly some open houses to let the public get in there and check that out. But as soon as we know when the next task force meeting is, it'll be up on the town website, I hope, right? And then beautification was canceled, but I do want to point out they're still looking for weed warriors to go out and help pull weeds in the town parks and the various rails to trails. Just call town hall and ask to speak to Ashley, right? I'll leave a message for Ashley, or you can get her email if you call town hall. And then Parks and Rec, I see that Mike's here, so if I miss anything, he can let me know. I saw that they approved the sign for the skate park, right? And a lot of other stuff, but there's several things I want to go over. If I miss anything important, let me know, Mike. But it is Parks and Rec Month for July. And in addition to the fireworks tomorrow, the following events. July 15th, come make paper airplanes at the Twin Arch Crossing, 10 o'clock. There'll be a little friendly contest to see which planes fly the furthest, free, all ages. July 16th, Art in the Park with ceramic artist Maria Martinez, 2 sessions, 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. Adults only, free but pre-registration, supplies provided. Again, you can call Town Hall and get the information if you didn't catch that. Summer concert in Wildwood again, featuring the Acoustic Chicks Band. They played at the first farmers market, was a huge hit. So we're excited to welcome them back to town. It's free, bring chairs or a blanket to enjoy this outdoor concert. And July 30th, the ice block sledding returns. So bring a towel to sit on and come enjoy the fun. 11 o'clock, Watkins Park, free, all ages welcome. I just think we should have a council and mayor contest on the ice block sledding, I'm just saying. And again, for beautification, you can follow them on Facebook because they're doing stuff all month long, weeding, planting, everything. And that concludes my report.
All right, thank you. Next up will be the Planning Commission with Councilmember Evans.
Thank you, Council President. For the county planners, Hannah was not in attendance, but she left some notes. The water and sewer amendment was sent to MDE on May 21st. I guess they're still waiting on response from that. The housing study for Carroll County is still ongoing. You can access the survey at www.carrollcountymaryland.gov/housing study or on our website. John, right, there's a QR code? There's a QR code on our website. You can scan it to get to it that way. Master plan was sent back to us with all the comments. We will be reviewing these in the next couple of weeks at our workshops. As far as Frederick County goes, Justin brought some information about Linganore Town Center being approved for the remaining townhomes. I believe it was 85 or 86. He also notated that Frederick County is still the fastest growing county in Maryland, just to keep a heads up on our neighbors. As far as the agenda goes, open space waiver worksheet was approved with minor amendments, 5-0. Waiver request for Green Tree regarding the minimum distance between intersections was approved, 3-2. APFO open space waiver for Green Tree was approved, 5-0. Chapter 25-4 C and D compliance letter was approved, 5-0. And the Green Tree Concept and Pattern Book for subdivision only was approved 5-0. Our next PC meeting is Monday, July 29th at 7:30 here at Town Hall. We also have master plan workshops on July 11th and July 18th, both at Town Hall. John?
The 11th is Town Hall, and the 18th is at the Senior Center,
Okay, thank
starting
you.
at 6:30.
Thank you. That concludes my report.
All right, thank you very much. Next up, we have Streets and Roads Commission and the EDC with Councilmember Demoter.
All right, thank you. The EDC has decided to hold its meetings every other month, and so with that, the next meeting is scheduled for July 24th at 7 p.m. As part of my EDC-related outreach to other economic development-related organizations, I attended the MAMSA meeting on June 17th, and it was just good to hear what their activities are and perspectives from that group of business owners. Because of my liaison, I'm the liaison for Streets and Roads, and there was a business owner who had some concerns about a broken handicap railing in the downtown zone. So I offered some support for how they could get that resolved, and I think the town's working on that. Streets and Roads, we met on June 4th. We continue to act on citizen comments and concerns on speeding, safe driving, and roadway safety improvements. Some specific topics included planning of traffic studies for Prospect Road, Rising Ridge Road, and Park Avenue. Also responding to citizens who attended the meeting and complained about the stop sign and the raised crosswalk configurations on Rising Ridge Road. Some concerns about almost getting hit from cars not yielding at three-way stop signs. So also questioning the stop sign and raised crosswalk configuration in its current designs. So this seems to be an ongoing topic, and some of the citizens who were at our meeting said they would be coming to our next Streets and Roads meeting, perhaps with some additional citizens to talk about this issue. We discussed the request to do more MAPD patrolling in the area of Rising Ridge Road, which you heard earlier from the chief. They did that and provided some actual field results of stops. So thank you for that. The commission members provided remaining edits to the transportation chapter of the draft 2023 master plan as requested by July 1st. I was asked by the commission to draft a section on the strategic need for a tunnel to get people across Route 27 from the Center Street area over to the east side, and how that's strategically important for our recreational amenities as well as the economic vitality of the town. So I got that in by the 1st as well. And then lastly, you'll hear more about this, but we are going to conduct another Safe Streets campaign. This is the grassroots effort where if citizens feel like they're speeding near their homes or in their neighborhoods, they can put out a yard sign. We have yard signs that say, slow down for your hometown. Are you driving the speed limit? So there'll be a form on the website, or people can call me or others, and we'll take some signs out to you, we'll drop them off, and when the campaign's over, we'll come and get them. And we're going to do this probably the last week of August, first week of September, coinciding when our children are going back to school, and that's the Labor Day time frame, so that's a good time to remind people and educate them on safe driving. And with that, that completes my report.
All right, thank you very much. Next up, we have the Recycling and Sanitation Commission and the Sustainability Commission with Councilmember Munder.
All right, there was no Sustainability Commission this past month due to the fact that Town Hall was closed due to the Juneteenth holiday, which was the same night as the commission was scheduled to be held. The Recycling and Sanitation Commission is scheduled for this month as of now on Wednesday, the 17th at 7 p.m. here in Town Hall. And I'm also putting the call out for if anyone wants to serve on any of the commissions, particularly the Sustainability and Recycling and Sanitation Commission, please contact Town Hall because we are always looking for new people to serve these wonderful commissions. And that concludes my report.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome, thank you.
That was a record.
I told you it was going to be short tonight.
Next up, we have the Water and Sewer Commission and the Commission on Aging and Livability, also known as COLE, with me. I'll start with COLE. They met on July 12th at Town Hall. The commission discussed a meeting that was held with the library branch manager regarding seniors using some of the space for classes or multi-generational activities. Ideas were also given on how to get information to our seniors outside of Facebook or social media. The commission also discussed the patio area at the senior center, which will need some work to safely host classes or be enclosed to provide the much-needed extra space for activities. The next meeting will be held at Town Hall on July 10th at 8 p.m., not 7 p.m. Next up, the Water and Sewer Commission met on June 5th here at Town Hall. The commission was able to get the water conservation flyer for Carroll County residents on the Water and Sewer website, so it's currently there now, but I believe it's only page 2 right now unless that's being fixed. Dick?
It was fixed, but there are 4 different, each page is a separate.
Okay, so each page of the flyer is a separate link when you go onto the website, if you want to check it out. It was also discussed that the water and sewer capital budget dipped to $4.4 million and has fluctuated between 4.2 and 4.8. The commission will continue monitoring the status of the capital budget and decide later if a rate change will be needed. Although the chairman did state that the $6,000 transfer from reserves to cover the capital budget deficit is considerably lower than previous years. The July meeting was canceled due to the 4th of July holiday, and our next meeting will take place on August 7th at 7 p.m. here at Town Hall. And that concludes my reports. We will now move on to our town attorney, Mr. Tom McCarron.
Since last meeting, the only thing that I did was to prepare a draft of the Public Works Agreement that is on the agenda for closed session discussion, and it is still under staff review, I believe. And that concludes my report.
All right, thank you. I know we all received our town administrator report. Do you have anything else to add?
No, sir, not at this time.
Okay. And then we all have the code enforcement report and the zoning administrator report. Anything to add on that?
Nothing to add.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll now move on to new business. First up is a road closure request for Saturday, August 10th from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. for the Mount Airy Mile. This will start at East Ridgeville Boulevard and heading down Main Street, ending at 8 North Main Street. This is being held by the Mount Airy Rotary Club with J.D. Kelly. I don't see her in the audience. Is anyone here representing the Rotary Club at all wish to speak?
Yeah, actually, she asked me to represent them, and I pretty much got the whole lowdown in my report as far as what's going on with the Mount Airy Mile. It's the 3rd year in a row. I don't know if the chief has any input as far as traffic control goes. We've managed to make it through with minimal complaints.
Correct, and I actually just signed that today.
Okay.
So she'll receive that information being sent back to her. So I do have that. And again, we did it last year in Civil Air Patrol. And I think even on the documentation that she submitted with her plan to MDOT to get that signed off, is there'll be some volunteers too on all the roadways. Doesn't last that long. So, I mean, we'll be fine.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Does anyone have a motion?
I make the motion for the town council to approve the closure of Main Street as described in the application here.
All right, I will second. Do we have any discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor for the road closure on Saturday, August 10th from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., starting at East Ridgeville Boulevard and heading down Main Street, ending at 8 North Main Street. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. Next up, we have a priority letter to Governor Wes Moore. I will relinquish to our Mayor Hushhour just for a brief overview.
Yeah, the overview on this is that we met with the Carroll County delegation, in particular 2 members of it, Delegate Boucher and Senator Reedy, And they came out and toured several locations of the town, including Highway 27 out by Watkins Park, to look at the pedestrian crossing that could potentially go in that area. And we also looked at rails to trails, especially over on the western side and of Hill Street. Looked at that area, took a walk down there, and then came back to Town Hall, talked about the need of the town to have a police station as well as the rehabilitation or renovation of the Flatiron Building. So those are the 4 topics that we talked about. And we asked the delegation what they thought would be the best avenue to approach Annapolis, in particular Governor Moore's office, with these issues to see if there might be any funding that might be available, or to at least get the situation addressed in a manner that they would be supportive of grants and things along those lines. So with that in mind, the suggestion was to write a letter, which I drafted, listing those 4 priorities, with the police department being number 1. The PFAS remediation, which we didn't talk a lot about because we're currently going through processes that will get that remedied. And then we talked about the safe pedestrian passage of State Highway 27 as the 3rd priority, and then the 4th one being the renovation and restoration of the historic Flatiron Building. So I drafted the letter. I know Councilmember Demoter went through there and made several modifications to the letter, which I thought were suitable. They don't change the intent of the letter at all. So I'm not offended by any means for the rephrased or the wordsmithing, and I think it reads pretty good with his corrections. So if the entire council's gonna sign it, I don't think it needs a motion. Would you say, Tom, it needs a motion, or does it just need concurrence?
I would say a motion probably is appropriate.
Okay, so I'm okay with Steve's edits, and I'm okay with that version of the letter.
All right, so what we'll do now is we'll have a motion, if anyone would like to make a motion.
I would like to make a motion. I would like to make a motion to approve the letter to Governor Moore as amended and provided to the council by myself, Councilmember Demoter.
I will second. Do we have any discussion?
I agree with the letter. I just have a couple slight corrections, edits. I mean, more grammatical. I can talk to you or speed up and just show them to you later, but nothing major, just a couple words missing and a comma needs to be taken out, that's all.
And I appreciate our bantering earlier about it's not 100% draft, but it's about 98%. So I agree. There's a couple little words to change here and there. We want to make sure we get the title for the governor and his address correct. There's a lot of little dotting of the i's, but I think with the mayor's acceptance of this, I think we're about there. So
Yeah. I'm good with it, other than that, yeah.
Okay.
I have one small correction. If you could spell my name right, then I'm happy to sign.
I have to, let me look at this.
I didn't even look at that, sorry, Lynn.
I'm gonna go ahead and speed this process
is
up
it?
and just say, I was gonna say, we're gonna go ahead and proofread this before it gets sent out. But are we good with the
Yeah.
proofreading section of this?
I'm good.
All right, sounds good. Any further discussion?
Take another hug.
Hearing no further discussion, we're gonna go ahead and vote on the approval of the amended letter by Councilmember Demoter from Mayor Hushhour that will be sent to Governor Wes Moore, pending a professional proofreader, making sure that everything's sufficient.
Let Lynn do it.
All in favor of this approval, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. And thank you both, Mayor Hushhour and Councilmember Demoter, for your work on that. And we hope to hear an update from Annapolis soon. Next up, we have the town and county agreement for Carroll County, and I will relinquish to Tom McCarron for a quick overview.
Sure. So this is an annual contract that we enter into with the county. The terms have been essentially the same for many, many, many years, and this contract is no different. It lays out a lot of various terms, a lot having to do with notices required to the county for such things as review of annexation petitions and things of that sort. The numbers change, obviously, from year to year, and at the end of the day, the reason that the contract is presented to us for signature is not just approval of the terms, but at the end of the day, the numbers that are contained within the contract each year. So that's what this is about. Again, you'll see that about this time of year every year.
All right, thank you very much. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the town and county agreement as we have in front of us. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, do we have any discussion?
They misspelled my name, so makes you feel bad. I'm not a Lawrence, I'm a Larry. I just want to make you feel better, Lynn.
I approve it with the correction of Larry's name being spelled right. Any discussion at all? All right, hearing none, all in favor of approval of the town and county agreement as presented, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? All right, thank you. Next up, we have commission appointments and reappointments with Mayor Hushhour.
Okay. I make the following recommendations for commission appointments and reappointments for the July council meeting. Ken Yanachi, I believe is the way you pronounce it, appointed to the Mount Airy Sustainability Commission. You want to do them separate or all at once?
I think we can do them all at once.
Okay. Mike Dixon, reappointment to the Mount Airy Sustainability Commission, and Kenneth Humble, reappointment to the Mount Airy Sustainability Commission.
All right, do we have a motion?
I make a motion. To approve the reappointments and appointments to the, as described by the mayor, to the Mount Airy Sustainability Commission.
All right, I will second. Do we have any discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor of approving Ken Yanachi to the Sustainability Commission, reappointing Mike Dixon to the Sustainability Commission, and reappointing Kenneth Humble to the Mount Airy Sustainability Commission, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. All right, we're now on to ordinances and resolutions. The only one we have for this evening is Charter Amendment Resolution 2024-2 for Urban Renewal. This is for adoption. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt Charter Amendment Resolution 2024-2 for Urban Renewal.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, do we have any discussion?
Yes, I have a couple questions.
Okay.
And I'll direct this through the president to Councilmember Galletti, first name spelled with an E on the end. So I have a couple questions. I'm still trying to understand the whole picture here. So if there were a property, a building or a piece of land or both in combination, and we wanted to exercise this urban renewal process, can you just kind of walk me through the steps of what would happen for a particular piece of property?
Well, the first thing we would do is identify that property. And in doing so, we would reach out to the property owner, and this is a mechanism that allows us to get into the process for doing that. There would be public hearings. There would be communication between the property owner and the town, and then we would follow that written policy that goes through, eventually getting to the point that an appraisal is done on the property, and the town would come in and say, you gotta clean this up, or we're gonna come in and clean it up for you. And actually acquire the property for whatever the need is for the town.
Okay, and I have some follow-up questions, if I can continue. So I'll ask the question and I'll make a comment. So my question is, what does this new charter resolution do for the town that we couldn't already do without this? Because I look at, for example, Chapter 85, property maintenance, and it covers a lot of the same material for blighted structures, whether it be a dwelling, an office building, a commercial building, industrial building. If that building is not maintained, the town, through the health officer and the mayor, you are the designated health officer, can go to that property owner and say, hey, you've got to clean up your property. You've got to fix it up. You've got to clean it up. You give them a set number of days to make that happen, and if not, then you impose fines or you go clean it up and then you charge them, that kind of thing. So it seems like for that kind of thing, there's already a mechanism to do this. We already have eminent domain authority. In many ways, I look at this and it just looks like a taking and an eminent domain charter amendment with a lot of wrapping paper around it. So what is this doing for us that we couldn't have already done?
The difference between eminent domain and urban renewal, so urban renewal is for a specific property that has become dilapidated, and we have reached out to the property owner trying to get it fixed up. It may be better to go through a scenario for you. For example, the bank building sat there for 18 years, and we did complain, and we did all kinds of things to try to get the property owner to correct that situation. It's easy for the property owner to continuously just, kick that can down the road. With Urban Renewal Authority, you could come in and you could say, you know what, you're not kicking the can anymore. You're going to get this cleaned up now, or we're going to come in and figure out how to clean it up for you, which means getting an appraisal, and the town would end up seizing the property through a procedure that's defined through Urban Renewal Authority, as opposed to eminent domain, which would apply toward a property that you're trying to put a road through. This is I would say urban renewal is more about cleaning up a property that is pretty much been abandoned, as opposed to trying to get a road through or a trail through or a structure through. So, sorry, not structure, but roadway.
So continued questions, if I may. So just as the property maintenance chapter, where the property owner has rights and has a chance to spruce up their property, do they have that same opportunity under this?
This is, I would refer to this as an arrow in the quiver. So you have a property owner that is doing nothing with their property, and you have those blighted scenarios. I don't want to be dramatic, but rats, broken windows, mold issues, those sort of things, and they're not being dealt with. This allows us to go to them and say, listen, you have to clean up your mess, or we're gonna come in, utilize Urban Renewal Authority, and we're gonna clean it up for you. The mere threat of us doing something like that would put that property owner in a position where they would say, you know what, I can't just ignore this property anymore. I'm gonna have to get it cleaned up, and then I'll sell it, and I'll make my $1 million up here, or whatever they're gonna make for the property. And it's an incentive for them to get out there and fix up their property.
Okay.
If they're not willing to fix it up, then we go through the course of Urban Renewal Authority and we fix it up for them, and then we do whatever we're going to do with the property.
Okay. I do have a couple other questions. I know you're going to limit me on time, but we have like 2 minutes or?
2 minutes is fine.
So I'm still, thank you for the clarifications. I'm still seeing a lot of overlap between the authority we already have versus what's in this. I also understand that this language verbatim was passed by the state of Maryland through the House Bill 561. So this is verbatim what was in that House bill. So we really can't change any of the wording in this right now without going back to the House to make those changes. That's my understanding. Having said that, I think there needs to be some cleanup because there are some definitions in this charter or resolution, definitions for blighted zones, slum areas. There's a bunch of other terms that overlap with the terms in our property maintenance chapter. We have a definition for blighted structure, for example. Those are going to need to be harmonized somehow. There's going to need to be some harmonization of this. I do have a little bit of concern about the way this is written because I see there's like 3 pages written about how we can go about issuing bonds. And there's nothing discussing what the criteria are for making a decision on if a piece of property is blighted or is in a slum area. So there's just some messiness to this that I'm cautious about, and I wish it could have been done a little differently. Even the process is the council can initiate a project through a resolution. Well, a resolution doesn't require a public hearing. Resolution can be passed that evening, okay? That's a project. So that's, I just wonder about enough opportunity for a property owner to be responsive to it. And then it gets into the approval of the renewal project. And it says the plan should conform substantially to the master plan for the town of Mount Airy. It doesn't say anything about the planning commission reviewing this or weighing on it at all. So I hope that we develop some protocols for how we're going to implement this as it moves forward and to harmonize the sections that need to be harmonized back in our existing code. And then last quick question, who authored this document?
Tom? No?
I think Dave Warrington did.
Okay.
So this document, yes, but
Yes.
what got approved at the General Assembly, which
Yes.
is all that this is, Dave Warrington prepared.
I thought your question was about this.
Right.
Steve?
Well, because this is identical,
Yeah.
that's what I was getting at. Who authored the original template for this?
David Warrington did, based on his experiences in Chevrolet, where he was very successful with this.
And so, once this was passed, our town attorney basically had to just use the exact same text, correct?
Yeah, I mean, that's what, so to have Urban Renewal Authority, it's got to be approved specifically for our town by the General Assembly, which it did in the House bill that was referred to. In discussion among the mayor and Heather, we felt that we really needed it in our charter as well to make sure that we had this, the authority that Annapolis had granted us. So that's really what we're doing and why it's identical to what got passed by the General Assembly. Make sure we don't deviate from what authority we've been given.
Okay. And thank you for the time, Council President.
All right. Any further discussion?
Yes, Council President, just a couple comments. This is a very much needed item. As the mayor said, it's just an arrow in the quiver. I mean, I'm sure we would not, or any council would not automatically go to this for any type of project, for a blighted or a slum area. We would, as Councilman DeMotta indicated, we do have other areas within the code that can look at it. But, I mean, we would look at, fine them, do everything at what we would regularly do as the bank building or a piece of property that would directly behind Town Hall that, as you well aware of, that we seem to have a problem locating the proper owner for it. We try, and we get no response whatsoever. So this would be a good avenue to use for that in the long term. And I believe the whole impetus or the thought behind this is for the bonds and everything else is the town would, if it came down to purchasing it, we have the ability to purchase it. And then we would develop a plan to use it, be it build a building, rent it out the property, purchase the land, do something with it later or something. But this is just another good tool in the quiver to have because it can help out with the thing. And also, I can get what you're saying about the planning commission, but not to knock them, they do a wonderful job, but they're not, they can look at the master plan, they approve it. It's like if there's a park or something back there, follow the master plan. We just couldn't buy a piece of property or do something and then just totally change the zoning on it. We would have to probably follow the master plan process or the current zoning on that too. Also, the planning commission doesn't really dictate what the town can and cannot buy property-wise, in my view. So I'm for this. I'm one of the ones that originally started the urban renewal process on it, and it took 3 to 4 years to get this through. So will anything ever be perfect? No. It's just life in general, unfortunately. But I'm willing to let it go forward as is, because it would take too much time and effort to get it back once it's changed, if we ever got it back. That's it, Council President, thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
One comment.
Sure.
So being heavily involved in this and going with the mayor and testifying at the state of Maryland, I want to point out this discussion goes back prior to 2020, and there, I was trying to count them real quick, but what is it? 81 other municipalities, or was it 91 that have this authority? It's just another tool in our tool belt. And I want to point out that there's really no going back. On April 23rd, the governor approved this bill passed by the Maryland General Assembly effective October 1st, 2023. So this is just getting it in the formal process here within our town.
All right. We do have a motion to adopt Charter Amendment Resolution number 2024-2 for urban renewal. We will now take a vote. If you approve this adoption, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, thank you very much. We do not have any unfinished business. The council will now roll call into a closed session. At the conclusion of the closed session, this council meeting will be adjourned. We will now move into a roll call. Council, yes, sir.
Tom, did you have something on the closed session?
I could discuss PWA, but
Okay.
if you wanted to discuss that.
That's fair enough.
All right, so now we will go to a roll call into closed session. Councilmember Evans.
Aye.
Councilmember Munder.
Aye.
Council Secretary Galletti.
Aye.
Councilmember Demoter.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Thank you very much, and we will see you next month.
It's just a